Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. it sound right, boys. Sound right, boys. It sound.
All right. Well, mic check 1 2. I just sorry about the sound issue. Hopefully it sounds okay. I did a Windows update, and for some reason it did something to my to this StreamYard. So or Streamlabs, whatever this thing is called. Streamlabs. Okay. So I will be on StreamYard later today. I'm going to do a state of play of the political race in Kentucky. I want to start out the podcast, however, by giving a moment of silence. This time last Saturday, when we were podcasting, there was a major terror attack going on overseas in Israel, and close to 1,200 to 1,300 people have died. I have talked to people who live in Tel Aviv that I know. They're okay. But just a very terrible, terrible situation would happen. And, Israel is responding. Looks like they're going to mount an invasion of Gaza. That's what it's starting to really look like. A lot of armor is moving towards the north. So I want to just give a moment of silence to everybody that has died this week, because there were people at a concert, and people were abducted, women have been assaulted, children have died. So I just want to give a moment of silence for the people that have lost their lives this week. Just give me a moment of silence here. Let me do that right now. All right, we're back. All right, guys. So how has your week been? This has been an extremely busy week in gaming. There's just a lot of news. Everything from people like me who look like physical hardware is going away, it's really starting to sink in that physical hardware is going away, and our physical media, I should say, software, gaming boxes, even Blu-rays apparently are, this is going to be one of the last years to get 4K Blu-rays. I come up with a whole list, including Oppenheimer at the top of that list I'll be buying. I bought The Flash the other day. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. It had its moments. The girl playing Supergirl is hot. I mean, she's hot. So it looked fantastic in that outfit. So, but the movie itself is just not very good. So, And but overall, yeah, I've got a lot of movies I gotta get. We've had Sony has not come out and said anything about the Naughty Dog game, The Last of Us Factions. Apparently, I think Jason Schreier, who is fairly accurate, he came out and said that guy who said it was on ice or that it was that it was canceled, there's a good chance that person's wrong. Nothing is official. Nothing's official until Sony says it. I know I said that it looks like it's on ice or it's gone. That looks like that could be erroneous. So I'm trying to find that video I did, and I'm gonna take that video down. This until we get an official statement from Sony. That's it. That's generally what we do here. Is it's not official until Sony says it. But what is official is we got a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff to go through. There is one rumor that I do want to get out of the way, which is Walmart allegedly getting rid of Xbox games are going to go on sale next year. That's a rumor. That is a rumor. Okay, I actually looked at that story on Insider Gaming. I'm like, well, they're reporting something that they heard from somebody else. Says it comes from Josh Fairhurst, the CEO of Limited Run Games on Twitter. He explained how he has heard rumors. Okay, he has heard rumors. So it's a rumor. Let's just leave it there until Walmart and Microsoft come out and say yes, all our physical media is going away. That's on the strength that Best Buy has said some stuff as well. But yeah. Let's just leave it in the rumor bin for now. Also, give a big shout out to your boy. I was able Tuesday night to go and see 2 hours of Spider-Man. I was able to do it. A friend of mine that works for Best Buy, they shut down. They close at 9:00 here, and I went up there about 8:45. At night. And they hooked it up, and I want to make this clear. I saw it running on a Sony television set. I didn't see it on an LG. I didn't see it on a Samsung, TCL. I did none of that. I saw the game running on a Sony 95K. I think that's what it was. It was a 95K, 65 inches. I'm not going to spoil anything except don't argue with people talking about Starfield. I will tell you if you played the first 2 Spider-Mans, if you play the first 2 Spider-Mans, the first thing you're going to notice is the graphical difference. I'm just going to leave it there. And look, I'm somebody who has a Series X. I have not started playing Forza yet. So I downloaded it, golly, on Tuesday. I guess today is the day to do it, but I'm going to go here after this podcast. I'm going to go and trade in my final games to finish paying off Spider-Man. Spider-Man again comes out this week. It's crazy saying that, I know. Spider-Man comes out this week. So, or technically, I guess Sunday is the first day of the week, but Spider-Man will be here. I think if you have the deluxe, I think it's available for download right now. And I think if you have the deluxe edition, you might be able to start playing it on Wednesday. I don't know how that's working. Yes, I'm still angling to get a PS5 Spider-Man. Okay, we're gonna try to go ahead and get that done for you to do the unboxing. So, but a whole lot of stuff happened. The ABK deal has closed. For the most part, the CMA blocked the deal. However, you need to understand when the deal got blocked, the CMA legally has to put out why they blocked it. And then Microsoft has the legal responsibility to either walk away from the deal or try to remedy the situation. Microsoft remedied the situation and the CMA let the deal go through. Mainly because what we'll kind of talk about the cloud-based stuff, which is, I think, has tremendous potential. And congrats again, Hip Hop Gamer. Shout out to Hip Hop Gamer. He was right about this again. He told us this 3.5 years ago that everything that man said was going to happen has happened. It has happened. The people that are upset about this deal are the fanboys of Sony. That's it. The fanboys. And like I said, that's like listening to a Killer Tomato. It is they're mad and they're saying this is a fatal blow. I don't know how when the biggest game in Activision for Activision is Call of Duty, and that game will be on PlayStation for the foreseeable future till 2033, 34. I mean, you all will probably be married and have kids, and somebody's gonna come to you and be like, "Hey, look, man, you gonna go ahead and play that Call of Duty?" You can be like, "What? I gotta go pick my kid up from school. I'm going to baseball practice. No, my daughter's getting baptized. Whatever. But so we're gonna talk about that, the Slim being real, and also the Slim price. I mean, it's not Sony's fault that you're broke. People like Marlon Gaming Nation crack me up. This is the last time I'm going to say this brother's name. I don't particularly care how he takes his opinion he takes statements of fact and then says it's my opinion. That is baloney. But we'll go over that. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I finished Jedi Survivor. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that game. So there was a whole lot more stuff with the rumors that I could have done. And then once you get to the part where you're going to Tandalore, that's when you try to double back and do all that stuff, because my Jedi, he was so powerful at that point. I was just slicing people left and right. So but shout out to everybody that's here this morning. Shout out to Brios. How are you doing early this morning? He says fluff ball. Yeah, that's me. J Row 49 is in the house. Remember, if you want your name mentioned, let's see here. You just member up. That's all you got to do. But shout out to Jenna Hayes, the wonderful Jenna Hayes. Says I should act fake mad about the ABK deal for fun, since these Xbox fools keep thinking PlayStation. I don't know how to do that, because I'm the one who said they were going third party, and they're going to go third party through this deal. Now, it doesn't look like what maybe you all thought it was going to look like, and that's fine, but I'm the one who told you guys that they were going third party, and that the majority of their games would be available on PlayStation. That's what's going to happen. Okay? Now, you can yell and scream, we'll talk about that, okay? But I'm not mad. I'm like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. Also, how many of you all were playing the open beta for Call of Duty? There's an open beta. I'm not playing it because, again, when I walk into the store, whenever Call of Duty comes out, when I walk into the store to purchase it, Modern Warfare 3, that's the last time I'm buying a Call of Duty game. It'll be the last Call of Duty game I play. All right, now we no more. That's it. So I'll have the spiritual remakes of 1, 2, and 3, which I've enjoyed 1 and 2 immensely. So I'll play this one. I'll finish it. I'm gonna have a ball. What's up, Alfonso Carter? So shout out to everybody here. But that's how I got to enjoy the Spider-Man game. And again, if you've played the other Spider-Man games, the first thing you're gonna notice is the graphics. It's just the graphics jump is tremendous, and maybe it's because there was ray tracing on all the levels. That's what they did. We played it with all the modes. Okay, we wanted to see what the ray tracing was going to look like, and I know the mode I'm playing on. So, but it's beautiful, and in all the modes. Of course, the Sony. I'll put it on the screen here shortly after this story. The Sony TV, if you have a PlayStation, I recommend you buy a Sony TV. Now you're gonna say, well, Craig, you have an LG. Yeah, that was a steal. My LG TV was about $1,000. So, and you all know that. I told you all the story. We opened it live on TV. So Jenna Hayes says she's not playing the beta. Okay, that's fine. Got one saying they're playing the beta. It's been good. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's a beta. Do you enjoy it? Just like how many of you all played the beta for Foam Stars. I heard a lot of people say that was fun. I mean, I don't know. I didn't play it. So, yeah, Sasha Callie played Supergirl, and that's my Supergirl. I mean, I've had a little crush on her, no cap, since she was on Young and the Restless. She was on Young and the Restless years ago. Been about 4 years, and she got the part to play Supergirl, and she's fine. I mean, that's one bad mamma jamma right there. But no, I'm not going to spoil Spider-Man. I'll simply say what you will notice immediately are the graphics. Now, depending on what kind of TV you got, depending on what kind of TVs you have, that's your resolution, your picture quality. That's on you all. You know, or maybe you're using a monitor. That's on you. But again, the game looks stunning. The game, I was stunned. Just stunned. But what the game looked like. So, and all we didn't trigger a whole lot of we didn't trigger any missions per se. We simply just kind of swung around the city. We walked around. So again, very good game. Very good game. So I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. I don't know why the Xbox community can't just sit back and enjoy Starfield. They can't sit back and enjoy Forza. I don't get that, because again, I'm going to play Forza when I come back from the store, because there's no good college football games on until 3 o'clock. I get my hair cut at 5. So boom, boom, boom. That's my day today. Going to GameStop, coming back, playing some Forza. I might buy a DCS module, the F15 module. I thought about buying Assassin's Creed Mirage. Again, I'm just going to wait and buy that on Black Friday. But yeah, I'm going to go finish paying off Spider-Man. And so with Jedi Survivor and Madden 23. So let's see here. The beta is over. Oh, wow. Yeah, if it's going to take up that much space, I'm not going to get the beta either. Again, I never do, right? You know, you guys know me. I never get the beta just to run around and shoot and call in the B2 and get one-man army. I ain't doing it. So, but anybody who does, I want to make this clear. If that's what you like to do, that's fine. I'm old school. So we were doing that in the 90s. When it was a game called Ghost Recon. And Ghost Recon was really was a really good game. It was ahead of its time, obviously, because Call of Duty's doing the exact same thing, and it's been 20 years, maybe 25 years, I think. Good grief. So, yeah, again, the best place to play your PlayStation television-wise is a Sony TV. The best monitor are the monitors that Sony has, and the best way to listen is with the Sony headset. You just want first-party proprietary technology. You're not going to usurp that. That doesn't mean my LG and the LGs that are out there, the C2, the C3, the G3, the B1, the B2s, there's a B3 out now. Those TVs are fantastic too, but they're not gonna be that lock and key like a Sony TV. I mean, you guys, I got a Sony TV. I DC'd it. I discontinued it because it had a low gambit on the color end. Why? Because I bought an entry-level Bravia TV. Why? Because I didn't want to go out and spend $900 to $1,000 on a TV. Now, when I figured out, when it finally hit me, you know what? I can't get around it. I got to go spend the money. I did. And I went to go buy a Sony TV. And it was going to cost like $1,500. And I was mad. And had that guy at Best Buy, and when we looked at the TVs, had he walked to the right, I would have walked out with that Sony TV. But because we went to the left, and I went and I looked at the LG TVs, I just looked up at them. I saw that the B2, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, that's the newer B2 model." And I said, "Was it nicer than the C1 or C2?" He said, "It's kind of like the C2, but it's stripped down a little bit more." And you got to remember the C1 and C2s are stripped down from the CXs, right? And so when I got my TV, he was like, it's in between there. You know, it's kind of like the world in between worlds. I'm like, well, how much is that? Like $1,200, $1,400? You know, I kind of rolled my eyes. He said, "Nah, it's on sale for $999.99. I said, "I'll take it." This is exactly where that conversation went. I'll take it. It's cheaper. It's an LG. It's got a great picture. And I'm like, man, trust me, when I got this thing home, and it took me a while to learn how to use because I'm a Samsung guy. So with Samsung, all your HDMI ports are on the right-hand side. With the LG and the Sony TVs, everything's on the left side. It's like Samsung went out of their way to be difficult. So I had to kind of rearrange my room that I have my TV in, and my PlayStation went from being on the right side to being on the left side. I mean, it was a pain in the ass to do that shit because you had to get back there and try to make sure everything's plugged in. And you know how hard it is to get these damn HDMI cables in, and you got to get them just right to go in the slot and get that snug hook, So it is what it is. So let's see here. But yeah, it is what it is. Am I going to play Lords of the Fallen? I hadn't planned on it. So I may try it, though. I may try it. So, and I'll tell you the negative thing about LG TVs is the sound. The sound ain't that good. This is where Sony's TV always gets in front of them. Because Sony's TVs have good pictures and really good sound. LG TVs have great pictures, but the sound isn't good. And I think it's because with the B2, the speakers are on the back side. So my sound bounces off my wall, which is really nice because it's right there. But and I don't have ambient on the wall. You've seen the TVs, they turn blue, green, orange. My TV, it doesn't do that, but it has a more modified lighting. So that's pretty much it. But no, I hadn't planned on playing Lords of the Fallen. But we'll get to the first story here. That's kind of my little monologue here. Get to the first story, and which is the Slim, which was verified, and the price is out. And I heard people like Marlon Gaming Nation saying this is anti-consumer with the price and that. Let me make this clear. The fact that you can go and buy something or not buy it means it's pro-consumer. Okay, you're not being forced to buy anything. It's not like Sony's, or you go to the store, they're not forcing you to buy a PlayStation. It's capitalism. So you have the right to purchase it as a consumer, or you have the right not to purchase it as a consumer. Is it going to sell? Yes. How do I know that? Because there are people that collect stuff. You don't think J-Dub City, shout out to my man J-Dub, you don't think he's going to buy one of these consoles, if not both, because he collects them? Just like remember the Star Wars Darth Vader PS4 Pro or PS4? And people are like, well, that's a dumb idea. And I kept saying, no, these collectors are going to buy that. And sure enough, that's exactly what they did. From graphics to gameplay, how did Spidey look? I mean, again, graphically, if you play the first one, you are going to see a noticeable graphics jump. That's the first thing you see. From the asphalt to the NPCs to just phenomenal. I mean, they do stuff on there that you've seen, like in Rockstar, when Rockstar did Grand Theft Auto with the Rage engine, when and how they reacted to their surroundings. You see a lot more of that. So I mean, again, it is what it is. It is what it is. So. But I'm not gonna. I mean, you're getting the game in a week. We're all getting it. I'm getting it too. So, and again, I'll be. So my whole year looks like I'm gonna get the Phantom Pain, Phantom whatever it is for Cyberpunk. I'm buying that DLC. I'm buying the. I've already got the 808 DLC. What else am I buying? Assassin's Creed Mirage, Quantum Era. Just a whole lot of stuff. Call of Duty, I'm buying that. So, and Spider-Man. And I'm buying a sound bar. I'm actually going to look at sound bars today when I go to Best Buy. Well, I'm going to GameStop, then I'm going to walk across the Best Buy. So that's kind of the way that works. I got to get everything done before the afternoon because it's supposed to rain here sometime this afternoon. So, plus, UK has a game at 7 o'clock. And I'm like, all right, I got to get everything done, be back home. I'll get my hair cut. I've got a lot to do today. And I'm talking to you. Do I have PSVR 2? No, that is something else I'm considering buying. That's on the list, but I pushed it back. I may still buy it. I'm still on the fence, however, of buying it. So, but I'm hearing really good things about the Meta. Is it the Meta 3 or something like that? Lincoln Clay's got that. Foxy Games UK. Shout out to Foxy Games UK. He's got it. He said it's the best VR device that he's got. He's got the VR 2 as well. But yeah, no. I mean, again, Sony for me has got to get a flight simulator game on their VR system. They've got the car game. They got a car, and I'm not blasting. I'm not saying it's a terrible VR system, but that for me would push me over the edge. I'd be like, all right, I'm getting it now. Versus me being on the fence. I still plan on getting it though. So yeah. Let's see here. I need to come off of this screen. So the PS5 Slims are out, and they're coming for the holiday season. Number one, going back to what Marlon was saying, Marlon Gaming Nation thinks everything is revolving around him and what he wants. It's not. It's not. I have a PS5 thanks to you guys in the community. Shout out to you guys, okay? And so there's no reason for me to buy this. Okay? Like none. Because there's nothing wrong with my PlayStation 5. There's nothing wrong. The next PS5 that I want to try to get is what? The Spider-Man one. That's the one I would like to get. So this is for people who don't have a PS5, who are like, yeah, I've seen them. They just ergonomically, they may not like them. This is smaller and that's fine. Also, didn't the PS1 have a slim console? The PS2 get a slim console? I know the PS3 did. So, I mean, I'm going back in time here. So this is precedent already. There's already a precedent for it. So, I don't know. And because guys like Marlon can't afford it, he claims that Sony is ripping people off and not guys like him, okay? I'll just say guys like that, okay? They're saying, well, and again, if you're broke, it's too expensive for you anyway. If I went to the Dollar Tree yesterday, right? Dollar Tree here in the States, if you don't know, if you're from out of the country, we got these little dollar stores. I wanted a Pepsi, okay? I wanted a canned Pepsi. I wanted one. Like, it was like having a Big Mac attack. I was like, I want to go get a Pepsi. I walk in there to get a Pepsi, and I realized when I walk, because I have on my sweatpants, I don't take my wallet. I take my keys, but I don't take my wallet. I take my keys, I take my phone, I take my headsets, I don't take my wallet when I'm walking. Because when I'm walking, I don't plan on stopping anywhere. Now, the pop that I wanted, the Pepsi, it was $1.25. Guess what? I didn't have the money to buy it. $1.25 was too expensive for me. And that's the problem with people thinking that it is Sony's job and LG's job. It is not LG's job to come up with a consumer product that everybody can afford. They're going to put out a product for people to buy, and it's up to the consumer to make the decision whether I'm going to buy it or not. That's called capitalism. Marlon and people like Marlon don't understand that. They think that these companies should put things out specifically for them. And if you can't afford it, my man, you need to get your money up. I don't have an issue with the Pro nor the price because, I mean, again, even the digital one, they're like, well, they raised the price of the digital one. I'm like, and so what? So what? Well, usually when things come out with time, they depreciate. You're right, except Sony didn't follow that because they had the hottest selling console in the world. Not on the block, not in the city, not in the state, in the world. And digital media, because people are switching to that, you're going to pay a higher entry cost. Now, guess what? You don't have to buy this little digital console. And I've seen them. They're smaller. They're smaller. All right. Now, the other thing that I heard Marlon complaining about are the face plates. They're actually going to come out with their own face plates. They're actually going to come out with their own face plates. Now, I got another question for you. The Xbox One S has a 1 terabyte system, correct? How much does that cost? Doesn't the 1 terabyte Xbox One S cost more than the 500 gigabyte one or whatever it is? I mean, can somebody check the price? Matter of fact, let's just do it right now. Let's just shut all this crap down right now. So let me go over here. The Xbox Series S. Okay. So the Xbox Series S, I'm putting it up on the screen so you all will see it. Let's see here. Let me take this off the screen. Let's go back over here. Go there. Gotta make that smaller. Okay. The Xbox One S, that's the 512 gigabyte all digital console, disc-free gaming, okay? White. I guess because it's a white thing with a big black circle. I have no idea why it looks like an Oreo cookie, but it does. So, all right, that is $299.99. Now, let's see if Best Buy has the Series S 1 terabyte. $349.99. Okay, so why does again, this is 1 terabyte. It's still the same console. It's black. It looks good. It looks good. I like this console. I mean, again, let me make this clear because I know people that are, I'll wait on that. I'm sorry. It's got a 1 terabyte hard drive and it costs more than the other one with less memory. Oh my God, Microsoft's being anti-consumer. No, they're not. You're getting more hardware. You're getting more space. So you're going to pay more money. You got to pay the cost to be the boss. BB King. Shout out to BB King. Why doesn't Marlon understand this? And why doesn't guys like Marlon understand this? Okay? 1 terabyte, black, Xbox. Again, all digital. It costs more than it's whatever that other Xbox 512, okay? It costs more. Where was guys like Marlon's righteous indignation? Where was it? This is the hypocrisy that I'm talking about. All right? Now, this is digital, so is the white PlayStation. That's the truth, guys. Now, we also know that the Series S is the top-selling console for Xbox. Xbox has disclosed that. So again, I'm not buying a digital PlayStation because I don't need it. Now, if my PlayStation died like today, if it just went kaput, like oh my God, what am I going to do? I would then go to the store and I would try to find one that was secondary or used. I would say, I want one that plays physical media. And they're going to say, we have that. It costs this much money. Okay, fine. Put it in the box, put it in the bag, whatever you want to say. But where is the righteous indignation, people? This costs more. I'm serious. When are you all going to start calling out bullshit? Okay? Because again, the Series S, all right? The Series S has a 1 terabyte console that went up in price. I mean, that's just the reality, right? We saw it in real time. I showed it to you. I just showed it to you. But you got clowns out there saying, what's my opinion when I say that Sony's being anti-consumer? No, Negro. You leveling a charge of anti-consumerism is you leveling a charge of anti-consumerism. That's an actual legalized term. And he wants to say, him and other people, I'm sorry, he and other people want to turn around and say, well, that's just my opinion. Bullshit. It's not your opinion. Let me give you my opinion. You don't have a lot of money to be getting this stuff, so you're turning around wanting donations so you can go get this shit for free. That's my opinion. Okay? That's an opinion. And that's an opinion that's shared by a lot of people about guys like that. Okay? Donate to the look, I'm gonna try to buy the Spider-Man game or console. I'm not asking you all for one goddamn cent. If you want to donate, you can. I prefer you donate a like and a share because we're on our way to 2,050 members. 250 subs. That's what I prefer you do. I prefer you just keep the money. You know, go buy your husband something nice, a Victoria's Secrets that you can put on for him. Go buy your spouse something. Buy your kids something. I'm a grown-ass man. Hit the like button and move it, keep it moving, you know. The like button, share the video, tell your friends, you know. So, so we can grow the channel. The channel makes money. The channel does make money. I'm teamed with Google. So I have turned down 3 partnerships with people because I just rather get on here and talk, talk my cheddar, and you all go ahead and laugh and we yuck it up and we call it a day. We go back to gaming, and if I stream a game and you come by and say what up, I'm like, hey, so so Chief Devin says it's because the Xbox Series X isn't selling, so they don't have to worry. Well, again, my point isn't about it selling. My point is that the digital 1 terabyte series console costs more than the digital Series S console that came out 3 years ago. Okay? And for some reason, people like Marlon that went over their head. But when Sony did, it did the exact same thing. Sony did the exact same thing. Marlon Gaming Nation lost his goddamn mind. Now, my hypothesis is he can't afford it, and therefore he's upset. That's my opinion. Okay? So, it's not just him. There's plenty of people out there who want other people to pay for their gaming habits. Begging for, stunting and stripping for super chats. Yeah. And again, I don't care that and people have said they're jealous of him. No, they're not. They just don't like the hypocrisy. There's nothing to be jealous of. Congratulations on being a successful YouTuber. You know how many people are trying to be on YouTube and they fail? Like the vast majority. Most people can't make their money on YouTube. That's the vast majority. So the fact that he's able to do it is fantastic. I do support that aspect of it, but I don't like the hypocrisy. So yes, both Sony and Microsoft have late generation consoles that are digital, that are 1 terabyte, and they both cost more than the original ones that weren't 1 terabyte. That's what happened. You can call it, it's inflation, it's whatever you want to call it. But if you're single, inflation in the United States is going to hit you harder than somebody who's married. I mean, if the eggs at the grocery store cost $4, you're like, man, I can't believe eggs cost $4. Well, if you have a spouse, the eggs only cost $2. Now, you can still be like, well, you know what? I don't want to pay $2, but paying $2 is better than paying $4. The Dollar Tree, the dollar store that I talked about, everything used to be $1 and then 3 cents on the tax. Now it's $1.25 and 4 cents on the tax. So my Pepsi is $1.29. Now, even though it was only $1.29 because I didn't have my wallet, it was too much. Okay, it costs too damn much. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? It wouldn't matter if it costs $1. I didn't have it. So it costs too much. So you don't think PlayStation is making a Pro if it means we will get it at PS in 2026? Well, I don't think we're getting a PS6 until 2029. I do think we're getting a Pro. I do think we're getting the Pro. So You would trade your PS5 for the Pro? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going to do that. So, a lot of people are going to do that. So, you know, it is what it is. You don't believe we need a PS5 Pro? Again, it's not about what you need, okay? It's not about you. It's about what the developers want and what they want the stuff to do. Yeah, I think we're getting a Pro. I do think they'll target 8K, all right? D-Nice says he's sick and tired of all the whining about prices. Well, I agree with you, D-Nice. Either you got the cash or you don't. If you don't have the money, then don't buy it. I don't know why that's so hard for people. When I saw the new LG G3 television set at Best Buy, my bowels cut loose. Like I ripped a wet, nasty one. But guess what? It was also $1,800 or $2,800. It was something like that. I'm like, well, I can't get that right now. I didn't come home and do a podcast and say, I can't believe that LG is selling the TV for this much. That's not the way. This is capitalism. That's just capitalism. I mean, they did a video game called Grand Theft Auto 5, and they were talking. And what did Michael say to Franklin? That you should go to school and you can learn how to rip people off, and it's legal. It's called capitalism. Yeah, you just have to wait for the stuff to come down. Now, the only time I bought a mid-gen console was the Pro, and I didn't buy it. The girl I was with at the time bought it or got it because we got a TV. We got a brand new TV, and because we paid over $1,000 for the TV, H.H. Gregg, that was the name of the company, H.H. Gregg had something where you could get anything else in the store $400 or less for free. That was just part of the deal. And she said, well, why don't you go pick out something? I'm like, all right. I looked at the speakers. I looked at the headphones, the Beats by Dre headphones that were like $300. I looked at that. And then I just so happened, I'm like, well, maybe these headphones that I was trying, I'm like, well, let me see if they can let me try them on, see how they're going to fit me and all that kind of stuff. But then I saw the PlayStation Pro. I'm like, oh, all right, well, let's just get that. It's $399 as well. And that's something we could both sit down and watch movies and stuff like that. But I played games on it. Yeah, and when I saw Tomb Raider on there, I'm like, oh my God. You know, so, but anyway, there's no anti-consumerism because we as consumers have the right not to purchase it. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand that. Okay? So there is nothing anti about giving me a choice. I have a choice to buy it or not buy it. I can pay my electric bill or I can go buy the Xbox One S 1 terabyte. I can pay my water bill or I can go buy the new digital PlayStation 5. I can pay my car payment or I can go buy an Xbox Series X. Okay, that's the way, that's called freedom of choice in the consumer markets. Marlin Gaming Nation and people like Marlin Gaming Nation don't understand that. When Marvel Spider-Man 2, when Marvel Spider-Man 2 came out, I had a choice. I could either go to PlayStation Direct, get in the queue, and try to get something, or not. That is consumer choice. There's nothing more consumer friendly than choice. I went to McDonald's this morning. I got a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle. The fact that I could walk in there and get the bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle, or get 50 of them, or get nothing. You can walk into McDonald's and get nothing. You all know that, right? No, once you walk into McDonald's isn't, they're not gonna, Ronald McDonald and the Hamburglar are not gonna sit up there and grab you and force you to go order something. All right? The power is choice. It's choice. Choice isn't logical. The whole movie, there was a movie series called The Matrix. Why did The Matrix keep failing? Because people weren't logical. They were choosing emotional things into something that thinks in logic. Emotions aren't logical. They did a movie called Interstellar. It's about the same thing. Nothing can penetrate space-time accept emotion. In this case, the emotion was love. Cooper loved his daughter so much, he found a way to communicate with her through time. That's it. Because time isn't relative anyway. I mean, it's that simple. So, I have a choice today. I can go and buy what did I say? What did I say earlier? I'm going to go to the store and finish paying off my Spider-Man game. That's a choice. I made a choice to buy the game. That means that is pro-consumer because I have the final say what I do with my money. That's how effing stupid guys like Marlon and people who think like that are. They think, well, Sony or LG or Bose or whoever, Lamborghini, are supposed to come out and sell their stuff so that people like him can afford it. Like, no, it's called classism. The problem in the United States isn't racism, it's classism. All right? And you got people that are spoiled brats who think everything's about them. Once you accept in your life that there are people who know more, like I'm the one that told you Microsoft was going to be a third-party publisher. I told you that years ago. How did I know that? Because of what Microsoft said. I actually pay attention to what Microsoft says, and I also pay attention to what they're doing. Why do I do that? Because I have stock in the company. Why do I have stock in the company? Because I have their products. Why do I have their products? Because they have some good products. Okay? Microsoft was around when I was growing up as a kid. So when I turned 18 and I got my first income tax check, I thought I was rich. I was 18 years old. I had a check from the government for $218.77. I went into the bank and said, can you tell me how to buy stock? I don't understand how that works. And they sat down with me for about 20 minutes and they taught me how to do it. And then one day I did it. And then I bought more and I bought more. I have stock. And I mean, you should have stock in the stuff you have in your house. As soon as I got my LG TV home and I had to go out, remember I had to go out to Lowe's and get the screws in there because they forgot the screws. And they gave me a free remote control. I got a free remote control from them. So I said, look, I had to pay like $10-15 for these screws. Is that what y'all do to your customers? Oh no, we're sorry. I said, that's okay. You have a remote control. Can you at least comp me that? And they actually gave me a like the top of the line LG remote. I have that. So, and they gave me like a pack of batteries. Like I made them feel bad. But at the end of the day, it is pro-consumer that you can or cannot buy something. Okay? Jenna Hayes is right. You live in an entitled society. Marlon is entitled. Now, that's just from what I've seen, he's entitled. But that's generational. There's a sense of entitlement with each next generation, millennial on down. That's why I love, as a Gen Xer, Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of my favorite games. Not because of the gameplay, but because of the theme, which is about a bunch of spoiled ass millennials who can't get their way, which is exactly what they're talking about. Okay, they see all this stuff around them that they want and they don't want to work to have to get it. That was the whole theme. Michael was a Gen Xer. Michael did not truly understand it. When he and his wife went into hiding, it affected his wife a lot more than he thought. Now, to me, he was living the high life. Right? If you're poor and you look at Michael's house, got a swimming pool, a fireplace, big screen TVs, cute wife. He's living the dream, nice cars. But you didn't see the fact that he had a spoiled brat son who was a millennial, okay, and was acting like a piece of crap. I mean, that was part of that game. It's like, yeah, he's entitled. Of course he's acting like that. So the good news is that we all have a choice. Now, Sony is not going to come to your house and say, Jenna, are you Jenna Hayes? Jenna's going to say, well, yes, I am, and Jenna, and Sony's going to be like, you know what, Jenna? We see you have a PlayStation, but it's the older PlayStation. we're gonna force you, Jenna, to go to the store and buy one of our new consoles. And Jenna, oh wait, no, I don't want to do it. We don't care. That's a form of anti-consumerism right there. That's socialism. All right, but Sony's not doing that. Sony put out a console for people who don't have PlayStation 5s. Okay, that's the first people they targeted. Well, let's get something smaller, more ergonomic for them. They did that. Now it's up to us as consumers to purchase it or not. I'm not going to buy it because my PlayStation works fine. There's nothing wrong. So for me, but I'm not going to rail against it because I didn't rail against the PS1 that got smaller, the PS2 that got smaller, the PS3, which I still think is a piece of crap on the way it was marketed. The technology I thought was fantastic, but it was still a piece of crap console, on the way it was marketed. So again, I can sit down here and show you, let me show you the hottest stick that I want. Let me just show this to you. I've showed this before, maybe. Let me see here. Let me pull that one down. Let's pull that one down. Okay. So, let's see, because I had it pulled up for those Prime days, hoping that it would go, the price would go down. Okay, let's see here. Let's put this up here for you guys. Let's see here. Let me go here. And voila. That HOTAS right there that I want costs $250. Except I'm not going to pay for that. This is the X56. Okay, look at it. And that's a split throttle. Okay, that's a split throttle. Look at that stick. That's the stick alone. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, I'm not going to do the payment plan. There you go. Look at that. I really do want that, but I'm not going to pay $250 for it. However, I'm not going to sit up there and rail against the company and say they're anti-consumer because it's not the company's fault that I don't want to pay for that. I mean, I can buy it today, but I would feel like crap if I'm like, man, I went ahead and paid $250 for this and all this other stuff I could have gotten. So people, y'all need to understand when people say this is anti-consumerism, what they're really saying is I'm too broke that I can't buy it. And in this case, Sony should make stuff that I can afford. Because now I have to sit up here and strip and stump for super chat money. All right? I always said, now let me make this clear. When I've always asked for crowd-funded stuff, I've always had about 60 to 70% of it paid. I'm like, well, you know what? I want this. And if you all want to crowdfund it, I'll get it when we're done. Shout out to everybody that's done that. So, I mean, I got to at least meet you halfway, if not further. And I'm not asking you for a handout. I would be asking for a hand up. There's a effing difference in saying to you, hey, you know what? What's up, Ice Queen? You know what? You all need to go ahead and be donating so I can go ahead and buy this. That's why I was kind of making fun of that last week. And there were people like saying, you up here, you asking for money. And most of you all were laughing. Let me make that clear. So the vast majority of you got it. It was a joke, okay? And it was fun. So, but you all just need to understand. That's why I'm gonna do a podcast on buying TVs and monitors so that you don't get, I'm not gonna say you don't get ripped off, but you don't spend more than you have to. Now I understand some people are gonna be like, hey, look, I'm going in there, I'm getting what I want. I don't care if I gotta pay 3 stacks. There's nothing wrong with that either. But I'm more for the people who, because I made bad purchases in the past because I got caught up in buying it versus I got caught up in buying it and didn't care about what I was buying. And because I didn't care about what I was buying, I made some bad purchases in the past. So Well, I'm just trying to educate people on what to look for so they don't make the same mistake I did. That's it. It's called pay it forward. That's what it's called. Pay it forward. That's what it's called. Like, hey, look, you don't have to listen to a word that I say. I mean, that's your choice. That is your choice as somebody who you have a choice to not listen. Like, oh, I'm still gonna buy it. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not gonna tell you. I can just tell you that if you wait, you may not have to pay as much. Okay, that's it. I need a new gaming chair, but you all know my Cyberpunk chair broke. Now the chair that I want is $129.99. I don't want to pay that much, so I'm gonna wait till Black Friday. I heard it may come down to $73 or $79.99. If it comes down to $80 and below, I'm gonna buy it. I'll buy it, but I'm not gonna pay more than $80 for that chair. Now, some people will say, "Well, you got the money, you should do it." It's the principle. It's the principle, man. Okay. So, but hopefully understand that there are people who are going to buy PlayStations. They're going to wait and see if there's a Pro. They're just going to wait, and that's fine too, because they could also be saying, well, you know what? I'm gonna get an 8K TV, so that if I get a PlayStation Pro, I can fully take advantage of it. Okay, you're right, because if there's a game that comes out that supports 8K and you ain't got an 8K TV, you're not going to be able to enjoy the 8K greatness. I understand. Just like when these games, these TVs who don't have the VRR and all that kind of stuff on it, they are missing on some stuff. I mean, they are. They just are. And there's a lot of people who got Sony TVs, who got LGs, who had, and if they bought a PlayStation or an Xbox, they couldn't enjoy everything. Again, like I said, the first thing your Xbox will do, if you have an Xbox, one of the first things you need to tell it to do is tell it to interrogate your television so that you set your TV up the proper way. And a lot of people are playing games on Xbox and on PlayStation beneath where their TV is because they don't know how to go into their settings. Like when I was struggling with remember, I struggled with the headset on the Xbox. I was struggling. I wasn't playing around. I'm like, I don't understand this. Okay, and finally, I found a video online where the person did a walkthrough, and I finally got it to work. I finally got it to work, and it sounds great. I have Steel Series. I had but they're for PC. But the PC and Xbox ones are cross-pollinating, so that's fine. So I'm loving that. So, but we'll move to the second story here, which is the PlayStation Cloud stuff. I know that's not very popular with some people, but it's going to tie into the last thing we're doing. Let's see here. Yep, there it is. Hold on. I already had it pulled up here. Now, this is for premium members. Let's see. This is the one that I wanted. Yeah, this is the one. All right. So we're going to go to our friends at PlayStation Blog. And let me see if I can pull it up. Yep, here it is. All right. So PS5 Cloud streaming launches this month for PPP members or PlayStation Plus premium members. Now again, I don't have premium. You have to remember that, right? I got rid of premium. I had it for 90 days and I said, well, there's nothing here that's worth it. I don't think it's worth it for me. So I'm going to switch back down to essential. But there's but the last week of the month with the third, here's what you can do. And you may not know this. So if you're an essential member like myself, on the 29th, because there's only 2 days left in the month, on the 29th, you go ahead and you get the premium service and you pay for it on the 29th, and you don't get billed for it again to around the 29th. And all you have to do is in November on Black Friday, just push it back to essential. But you'll be able to cloud stream, and this is very important. PS5 cloud streaming launches this month for the premium members. And it says here, the access includes supported PS5 titles on game catalog, game trials, and purchases from the PS Store, which I think they're giving you discounts on the store if you have premium, which I remember I said they should give discounts. The people in the highest tier, man, give them, you know, whatever, 5%, 10% off of some purchases on hard. Put a one in the chat if you remember me saying this months ago, right? So I'm glad they're doing it. I'm not saying, hey, look, they're doing what I told them to. No, I'm glad they did it. So it says here that it's doing PS5 titles. It says it has Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's got Forbidden West, Ghost of Tsushima, Mortal Kombat 11, and Saints Row 4. So, and it says game trials include Hogwarts Legacy, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Callisto Protocol. So again, if you haven't played Callisto Protocol, why don't you try that? Okay, why don't you try that? It's a 2-hour trial. I keep telling people it's better than I thought it was going to be. However, I like melee combat. Okay, I like picking up stuff and going up people's heads with it. But there's nothing wrong with a good old shooter blowing something's head off. I understand that too. Here's what's important. I want to put this up on the screen. PlayStation supports 720p, 1080p, 1440p for all you folks who, again, how do you set your PlayStation up for 1440p? Do you know how? All right, you go into your settings, you go to where the picture stuff is, you tell your PlayStation to output it 1440p. Again, if you're playing The Last of Us, I really recommend, if you're playing The Last of Us Part 2 on a PS5, put it in 1440p. It looks effing stunning. All right? It looks stunning. Plus, trust me, I do it. I do it right now. All right? It also supports 2160p. Now, here's what they're not telling you, what I can see, is this is according to your bandwidth that you have. So if you don't have crap internet and think you're going to put it in 2160p, and then go online and say, oh, this is terrible. Look, big homie, Sick Humor, shout out to Mr. No Cap himself, over 3 years ago, streamed games to test their latency. And he did it like 5 or 6 games. Maybe he did more. And there was not any latency issues according to him. Now, this doesn't mean it's perfect. And I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying. I understand it's not perfect. However, I'm excited about the potential this is going to bring because, as you all have seen with the ABK deal, what Ubisoft is getting. But we're going to look at that. But again, this will let you stream up to 2160p, which is 4K. It will let you stream up to 2160p at 60. Says it right here. Let's blow it up here. High quality resolution options, including 4K, 1440p, 1080p, 720 with 60 FPS with SDR or HDR. That is something else. And this is something Hip Hop Gamer, shout out to Hip Hop Gamer, he brought this up. He brought this up years ago. We were kind of, I don't know. He was right. He was right. The downloadable content in-game purchases will also be available for streaming, including the DLC and the add-ons. That's a big deal. Look at the enhanced audio. Supports all PS5 audio capabilities, including 5.1 and 7.1, as well as Tempest 3D and audio tech. Again, that's something else. I mean, that's really good. That's what I'm saying. This doesn't mean it's going to be working out the gate 100% accurately. It just means that we're going to get there. You can capture up and record up to 3 minutes of video, which can be downloaded to your gallery on PS5 and also media gallery on PS5 on PS app. Okay, so look at it. It is targeting the 30th, and I'm going to get this. Okay, I'm going to get this and keep it for the month of November and test it myself. All right, so and I'm loving it. Let me make this clear. I love it because it gives me a chance to just see it for myself, which is what I like to do. I'm like, okay, I heard what other people said. I'll try it myself and I'll give it a go. And I may be downloading some movies too, because it also premium allows you to download movies. And I think that's great news. And over in, no, I have it. It's nice, but OLED is better. Yeah, OLED right now is the best you can get out there. Turris is great in the house as Sony want a single console that's semi-modular enough to be disc-based and digital whenever you want it to be. Blueprint model for PS6. Yeah, PS6 will be modular as well. 5 gigabyte fiber is badass. You mean bad is in good bad or bad bad? It's like it's crappy bad. So so Overred says, is the InZone 4K better than a Sony or OLED for PS5? Well, remember the InZone 4K is made by Sony. This is just, well, now this is getting into budget. This is just me. If you're in a small space, get the monitors. If you want to play on a big TV, then yeah, go with the OLED TV. Just get the Bravia. For Sony, just get the 90, is it the 95K or something like that? Or 90A, yeah. Get the 90 series. That will take care of everything for your PlayStation. That's the high gambit on color and HDR. It does Dolby. I think it has Atmos on there. So just, just look at it like that. You don't have to get the highest end. Just try to go to the medium section, okay? You ain't got to get the Big Mac. You can get the quarter pounder. Shout out to JRO49. He says he just gives $3. And he says, what up? All right, how you doing, brother? How you doing? Appreciate the $3. And that's going to go to the PS5 Spider-Man. That's going to go to PS5 Spider-Man. Okay? So look, I'm trying to get one. I'm going to ask about it today. So you got the Sony Bravia XR. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, that is for what is coming. That is perfect. You're fine. You're in good shape with that. Good color. It's a Bravia. You got the Bravia XR. Yeah, this tremendous. It's a tremendous TV. That's the TV I was going to buy, except it was like $14.99, and I got the LG for $9.99. So, what's this? The A90K. Is that what it is? There's an X90 and A90. Yeah, he's got the A90. What's the 95? Is it A95? I may just be getting my letters jumbled up. So, but look, the TV I saw Spider-Man running on was the A9, was the 90K. So 65 inch, I think it was 65. It looked effing phenomenal. I mean, it looked phenomenal. So yeah, I was kind of like, damn, I should have gotten this TV. But anyway, it's gonna look great on my any high-end TV. It'll look good on. If I had an Xbox, I would get a Samsung TV. That's me. The A90K. Yeah, but they have a 95, right? Yeah. Corey said the community has lost its way. They're gonna argue about gaming. Yeah, I mean, if you're arguing, you ain't playing. That's why you don't see me on Twitter arguing with a bunch of people a whole lot. Like, look, here's the articles. It ain't my fault you can't read or you misunderstand. You know, grasshopper. So let me check one more thing before we. Well, let's go ahead and do this now. Let's see here. I need to go back. Maybe 2 stories. Let's see here. Alrighty here. Let's see here. I had the article I want, now I can't find it. Maybe it's under here. I promise you. Oh, found it. Perfect. Found it. Now, we're going to talk about the ABK deal. Congratulations, that deal is over. Going to tell you how Microsoft finished their complete turn to go on the third party. I want you to look at this article from The Verge. So, This is from, let me get the date. All right, you can see October 13th at 1 o'clock. That was yesterday. Okay. Did I go too far? Okay, here we go. Ubisoft and Activision Blizzard's deal for cloud gaming rights explained. Okay. Ubisoft now controls where Call of Duty and Activision Blizzard games show up in the cloud outside of the EU, which includes the United States, for the next 15 years. This is from Tom Warren. He explains it very well. Said Microsoft's giant Activision Blizzard deal is complete, and it means Ubisoft has now obtained cloud streaming rights for Call of Duty, all other current Activision Blizzard games, and any coming over the next 15 years. It was a key concession from Microsoft that helped get the deal over the line with UK regulators. But what does that mean? Okay. It says Ubisoft will now control where Call of Duty and other Activision Blizzard games show up on cloud gaming services, with the exception of EU countries and the various cloud gaming deals Microsoft signed previously. So he gives you an example. If you live in a country that's part of the European Economic Area, which includes EU countries and also Iceland, Liechtenstein, I hope I said that right, and Norway, then you'll get a free license to stream via any cloud game streaming services of their choice all current and future Activision Blizzard PC and console games that you have purchased. Wow. If you're outside the EEA, then it's up to Ubisoft, which services get cloud streaming rights for Activision Blizzard games, including licensing these back to Microsoft to include in xCloud gaming. In theory, Ubisoft could deny Microsoft a license for future Activision Blizzard's game, but in reality, that's extremely unlikely to happen. Yeah, because that's unprofessional. Microsoft will need to pay a wholesale arrangement fee to license Activision Blizzard games for its cloud services, though. All right, this is part of the deal. So even though they bought Activision is still, they still have to make deals with Activision to put their games into streaming, all right? So says it's also legally possible for Ubisoft to offer Activision Blizzard games exclusively on certain cloud providers, but again, very unlikely. I say unlikely because unlike secret deals in the games industry for exclusivity or to keep games off Xbox Game Pass, everyone knows Ubisoft is controlling the rights here, and the company would face a backlash if it attempted to deny or block games from certain cloud services. Cloud providers will also still be offered a free license to stream these games in EU markets thanks to the European Commission remedy. This is the EU. Remember, the EU approved the deal, but they got that concession in there. Everybody's like, no, they got Microsoft to concede to a lot of stuff. All right. So the number of companies wanted cloud gaming rights for Activision Blizzard games and had to essentially pitch the CMA in the UK. The interview-like process meant the CMA picked out the companies that would work best with its concerns over cloud gaming. And then it was up to Microsoft to ultimately decide on which company to restructure the deal with. That's not what the CMA blocked that. They're like, nah, I ain't doing that. So it says we've been active in the streaming space for a long time, and that's one of the reasons Microsoft came to us. We're the first studio that Google worked with for Stadia. First company that Amazon worked with Luna, and we've been partners with NVIDIA GeForce now for years, said Chris Early. So Microsoft approached them because Ubisoft, again, has a history of working with Google and Amazon. They know what they're doing. Same thing Sony did with Bungie. Why did they approach them for purchase? They wanted them to run different stuff. Okay, Ubisoft Plus. The deal with Ubisoft means that Activision Blizzard games will now be available on Ubi Plus Soft, or is it Ubisoft Plus? I'm sorry, will be available on Ubisoft Plus. The company's game subscription service. Work begins on bringing these games to Ubisoft subscription today, but it's not clear when they will be available. While the deal lasts 15 years, licenses are perpetual, so Ubisoft will still have rights and still be able to provide games to people and companies worldwide even after those 15 years pass by. Our expectation is that this is Ubisoft, okay? Ubisoft is saying our expectation is that they will be on Ubisoft Plus, and then we have the rights to be able to license them individually to companies as well, says Early. Perhaps there's a company somewhere in the world that wants to license those rights and add to the streaming service they have or start up our new streaming service. And I think that's going to be part of the fun of the next 15 years or more on how streaming evolves. Now, the new deal with Ubisoft means that Activision Blizzard games will now be available on Ubisoft Plus. Ubisoft Plus. I'm going to keep saying that. Ubisoft Plus. Ubisoft Plus. Let's see here. Ubisoft Plus. Ubisoft Plus, correct? Ubisoft Plus. Ubisoft Plus. Let's put this up on the screen here for you. Ubisoft Plus. There you go. Ubisoft Plus coming to PlayStation. Game, set, match. I'm just gonna let that marinate on the screen for about a minute, and I want you all to understand what just happened. Okay? Well, so you can expect when Ubisoft Plus hits PlayStation, which I believe it's already there. Now this is just you can expect PlayStation to strike a deal with Ubisoft to put a lot of Microsoft's Activision games in their streaming service. Okay? Because they're working through a third party that controls the streaming service. And that third party has access to Activision Blizzard games. So everything's fine. And you also saw documented evidence that Sony has put out where you can actually stream the games at 4K at 60 frames per second. Did you not see that? You saw that correctly? Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you saw where Sony has the ability to stream games at 4K at 60 frames per second. So you saw it, right? So this is done. Okay? The third party turn for Microsoft is done. Now, if you want to say, well, you know what, Craig, I don't want to stream games. That is your right as a consumer. You as a consumer, like, yeah, I'm not going to stream games. But then that's fine. I mean, I want to make that clear. If I'm not suggesting you do. Do not put words in my mouth. I'm telling you, you can expect Sony to strike a deal with Ubisoft to put Activision Blizzard games into the cloud. And eventually, Microsoft is going to move Bethesda's games into the cloud, and then you will be able to get a license for those games if you choose to. And yes, you will be playing Starfield on your PlayStations. I'm going to say in the next 36 months, you'll be streaming it. Okay? And that doesn't mean you have to do it. Again, I'm going to try the streaming service in 2 weeks. I told you that. I physically just sat here and told you that. So you will see me streaming Ghost of Tsushima because it doesn't take up any hardware space. One of my big concerns is that I have the original PlayStation. I haven't altered it to put in a new SSD. I'm not going to. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to take the plates off of my PlayStation. I bought plates. I gave them to somebody. And now their son has those plates. I got the controller. That's what I want. Man, whoever told me to start mixing Jack Daniel's honey with a splash of Sprite and 2 big ice cubes, mamma mia. Whew. Man, I had to take the wrinkles out of a robe. Who do I think Sony will buy next? They're in early talks with 3 studios. One of them is Ubisoft. So, but Ubisoft, I think that's just going to be a capital investment. That's just my opinion, though. So, Dreddy Bean says everybody wins. In theory, yes, but you all have got to start. Look, let me make this clear. I like physical media. I'm living in a world now where people like me who collect physical media, we're getting eliminated. Okay? That's my reality. That's the nature of technology. And it's like my dad, God rest his soul. My dad still has a bunch of records. I have his records and his record player, his Technique 1200 record player. So, and I can listen to a bunch of Herbie Hancock. I can listen to a bunch of Lou Reed. I can listen to all that stuff he had. Boss Skaggs, Hall & Oates. I can listen to all of it, right, on records. So, but he started, because he saw tapes and cassettes coming in, and so he started buying physical records. And it was my generation, and we got the tapes. Okay, so, and then the tapes got replaced by CDs. And that lasted for 15 to 20 years, it felt like. And then that got replaced by digital downloads. That's the reality that we live in, okay? And so, I grew up with cassette tapes and CDs. And the streaming, that's still new to me. So that for me, that's new. But you all have grown up streaming stuff. Netflix started, they were streaming. I remember people talking about in the OR, like, how does that even work? Like, how does that work? How do you stream something like that? And it was just on your computer. It was an app. Oh, what's an app? All that started. I remember all that got going in early 2000, 2002, 2003. But you all are going to have to accept this is the way Microsoft went third party. If you thought you were going to walk into a store and you thought that third party was going to mean that you were going to walk in and they were going to have a Xbox game on PlayStation physically, the answer to that was no. There was no way for me to predict that. I always thought that there was going to be an end around. I'm like, no, Microsoft is going to go third party, but it's going to be an end around. They're going to get around it somehow. And this is how they did it. This is it. They sold third party. They sold rights to streaming their games through Activision Blizzard. That could have been part of the Activision. Activision could have said, well, no, we want streaming rights to go to someone else. And again, you'll be able to purchase the game via the cloud. Y'all are used to doing that. You all are used to downloading things via the cloud. You all are used to storing things via the cloud. That's what you guys are used to doing. That's where everything's going. Who's got one of the biggest cloud servers in the world? Microsoft with Azure. So it is what it is. It's going to happen. And you know, it is what it is. You know, Jim Ryan is retiring. God bless him and his family. Jim Ryan launched a product. He launched a product for worldwide consumption in the middle of a damn pandemic, and they were successful. He led Sony to success. One of the most successful intellectual properties PlayStation, the PS5, has ever had. He helmed it. They brought in a ton of studios. They bought more studios under Ryan than under Layton. I'll tell you that much. Okay, they bought what, 5 or 6 studios. To me, they did not get the big coup d'etat. You know, kind of like the mic drop moment. But for Jim Ryan, his mic drop moment was the Bungie deal. That's what he thought it was. I mean, I thought when they got Blue Point and House of Mark, I'm like, oh, well, they gonna be fine. But people need to understand this, that you cannot say you want high quality games from Sony and then get mad when it takes time to bring that quality to you, okay? It's like going to Ruth Chris Steakhouse. You're gonna wait, but you know the steak is gonna be such quality. So you it's kind of like you forgive the wait. You don't want your customers to wait, but you got to make it worth the wait. Sony is going to make it worth the wait. It's just, I understand personally that it's these fanboys out here online that are making it a versus issue. Spider-Man versus Starfield. I remember I saw J-Tech do that. J-Tech has not played Starfield. He hasn't. So how could he make it a versus if I know what Starfield's like. So it's like, so I compare Starfield to nothing. I'm like, well, it's a little bit like Elite Dangerous. It's a little bit like No Man's Sky. And so that's what J-Tech was doing. Well, this is better because it does this and it does that. There are things in No Man's Sky that are better. I'm not doubting that. I mean, there are, but that's what he was doing, and you numbnuts were falling for it. So So how are you going to stream? Forget about what Xbox is coming with their games. If you're going to stream, make sure you call your internet company, whoever you got, and you make sure you got a high internet bandwidth. Number 2, make sure if you get the streaming service for PlayStation, make sure that you go ahead and test it. Test your streams. All right? Dreaded Being Starfield is its own thing. Yeah, I know. I played it. It's fine. I got no issue with it. I don't like the fact there's no what's it called? The VAT system. And then it shows the close-up of the character doing stuff. Maybe it does do that. I don't know. I've only played it for like 6 hours, right? And I haven't played Forza at all. That's why I'm not talking about it. Like, I've downloaded Forza. I did that Tuesday. I did it Wednesday. When I got home from work Wednesday, I was able to download Forza. And yeah, that was it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thirsty. Eric says Starfield is boring. Play. Yeah, that's fine too. At least you tried it. I mean, that's fine. Like I said, the issue isn't people saying the game is boring. The issue is people saying the game is boring and they never played it. You see what I'm saying? You know, people. I mean, if you haven't tried it, how do you know what it is? I'm serious. Like, I haven't played Forza yet, so, and I'm not going to compare it to Gran Turismo because I haven't played Gran Turismo, but I already know, based on history, Gran Turismo has always been the better game. So when people did those tests side by side, whatever, I'm like, well, it's pretty much what I expected. But I don't compare the two. You're going to update your internet to 10G. Cool. You think the IPs will start working with Microsoft and Sony and offering internet fiber deals? I hope so. That's a good question. That's up to us as consumers to put pressure on them, right? That's our job as consumers. It's not Sony and Microsoft's job. It's we got to put pressure on them. So, But also, we need to make sure, Jenna, that we have the best. If you're going to stream games, let me make this clear. If we're going to stream games, we got to make sure we have the best internet we can get, even if it's just for 30 days and you're trying it out. Because they generally give you a trial, right? I mean, I know Spectrum does. I say, hey, look, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to like this. Can you give me a trial or something like that? So, and they may say no, but I need to let me make this clear. My PlayStation is going to interrogate my internet to make sure that I can stream it because it could come back and say, look, we don't recommend 2160p. We recommend 1440p. Okay, fine. So now my PlayStation is acting kind of as a converter. I'm going to go into my PlayStation and I'm going to what? Convert it to output at 1440p native, okay? What's up, Nova Red? So that's up to me as the consumer. Now, is there going to inevitably be some numbnut nibby consumer who's out there and they're going to be like, well, yes. And they're going to be like, well, and yes. Look at me. I'm having to stream at 720p. Because of latency. But like, no, you have to do it at 720p because you're broke and you ain't got the money to pay for the extra bandwidth. And I just wish people would just say that. I'm broke, so I ain't getting it. I mean, let's be honest, okay? Why am I waiting to buy all these games? Because I'm only budgeting a certain amount for gaming. And I don't have enough to get it. I don't. I'm like, I'm good, Or do I have enough and I just don't want to get it? Yeah, it's a little bit of both. The next new game I am getting for PlayStation is Spider-Man 2. I mean, could I go buy Assassin's Creed Mirage today? Yes, but that's a Black Friday game. I already made up my mind. I'm not knocking. People have said the game is fun. People are like, oh yeah, it's fine. It's like it's a throwback to the classic Assassin's Creed. Oh, okay, so that's good enough for me. So again, I understand people that are disappointed and wanted the more open world, and I just thought for me personally, the open world stuff, it was overwhelming. That was like, okay, there's just too much to do. Like, that's what I felt. I'm like, there's just too much to do, man. So you dig? But that's my show for today, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly hope you all have a good rest of the weekend. Oh, God, there's 50 people in here. Let me do an AMA. So let me do an AMA for 20 more minutes, okay? So let me go ahead and turn some music on here, if I can get that to work right. Let's see here. It's not even playing anymore. Dang it. Like I said, man, something went wacko with everything here. Now my music ain't even playing no more. Well, that sucks. Is it speakers? Hold on. No, it's not the speakers. Desktop audio? No. Music is on. I don't get it anymore. Marcus Grant said, somebody put, oh, well. Yeah, I know, right? Believe Microsoft will be better at being a third-party publisher. I do, too. I do, too. I've always thought that about Microsoft. They can, publish the games and advertise them with the budget. They got a nice budget for these games for advertising. Yeah, I agree. You will not get an argument out of your boy right here. I'm happy for this deal to be over. I'm happy that it worked out for Microsoft. It's going to work out for people if you stream. The PlayStation Portal has sold out in Japan, which is the target audience. You got to remember that. Yeah, somebody put vinyl and cassette tapes. Yeah. Without vinyl records, you don't have any hip hop. Because hip hop is a derivative of old songs on vinyl records. That the beats that were sampled. Now they don't do as much sampling anymore because they have people that actually went out and learned how to play the instrument. So, but yeah, I mean, that's the truth. So, but yeah, let's see here. The console warring is tiring. I don't do it. Because shout out to the late great Optimus Code. He said a lot of the stuff that I was talking about it was going to happen, and that's exactly what happened. And now you see these YouTubers and stuff like that. To their credit, I want to make this clear. To their credit, they're slowing down on their podcasting. They are slowing things down because they now recognize that the way they thought wasn't going to work. But I also want to give a lot of credit to those YouTubers because a lot of them, I looked up to them. I used to sit down and listen to a podcast called the Dream Team podcast. They had One Stop for Gamers and Bear Hugger. It had They had Robin Gaming on there before he blew up. They had a lot of people on there. You know, I think they had Red Gaming was on there, Red Infamous or something like that. They had in One Stop. I mean, it was just shout out to One Stop for Gamers. I mean, everybody was listening to that podcast. So what's up, Sergeant 12? Sony planning to buy 3 studios. What are they? Well, I'm not going to tell you what they are. They're talking to 3 studios. They may not get any of them. I think they'll get 2 of the 3. Sampling is still very popular. Yeah, but it's not done as much as it used to be. So, but no, it's not that they don't sample now. It's drum machines and it's all kind of stuff like that they're using, which is great. You got to buy 2 subscriptions just to stream games. No thanks. Yeah, that is another thing. You will have to have. And remember what I said about Xbox. Remember I said by the time you pay for all of these streaming stuff you got to do, then you're gonna be paying like $39.99. Remember I said that. And Sony ain't gonna be no joke either. Sony won't be a joke either. So they're going to be doing a lot of the same thing. Yeah, but Ubi Play or Ubi Plus, that is going to access all of Ubi's games, even the Ghost Recon games from the past. So for somebody like me who grew up playing Ghost Recon, I may check that out. And you're right. I may be like, man, this is sloppy. Trash. I ain't going to do this, So I need to find out. So how many artists break through because of sample grooves covered at? Yeah, that's true. Sony needs Konami and Square. I mean, Konami, is it for sale? You guys, you got to remember, they just can't walk in there and say, here's money, we want the studio. It's not the way this works. So, Nova Red's like, oh. I know. I was told 3 studios. I was also told not to say anything. So I'm not going to say nothing. So, and it could be purchases. It could be capital investments. Just remember that you're in the beginning of the year for Sony, Q1. So they set their budget in Q1, and then they're going to try to go execute that. So we'll see how it turns out. They don't have a CEO for PlayStation yet. So I wouldn't expect to hear things to Q2, which is after Jim Ryan leaves, which is Jim Ryan's last day is March 30th. So start looking for it a day or 2 after. So Namco's too expensive. So I can tell you that much. So Namco's too expensive. But it's not that it's a bad buy. Let me make that clear. It's not that it's a bad buy. So I missed that one. All right. So there's well, which one is it? Now it's never mind. Woosah. So I've never heard of Pearl Abyss. What do they make? So, but yeah, it's crazy. It's unfortunate that we're at this point Why aren't you a moderator, Jenna? Can I make you a managing moderator? It's weird. Okay. So, yeah, Bobby Kotick, he's leaving in 60 days he's leaving. So, breakthrough. Okay. So, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Am I applying for the CEO? No. I'd be a lousy CEO. I wouldn't be good at that at all. So, how about you, Jenna? You ought to apply. Go in there and give them that Jenna Hayes smile. You and Nova Red. You and Nova Red should go in there and get the job, and then you all can hire Chocolate Thunder. Y'all can hire Chocolate Thunder for that. So, but yeah, I think Microsoft will be great as a third-party publisher. I got no problem with it. And actually, Porter Rock, Pearl Abyss made Black Desert Online and Eve Online, and now making Crimson and Dope. Oh, okay. Well, that wouldn't be bad. Eve Online that's a pretty solid game. So that's pretty solid. They got a lot of people playing that game. So you don't work hard enough to. Yeah, I mean, again, that's what I'm saying. I think Jenna should get the job, and she could hire Chocolate Thunder. So, be like, oh, it's Chocolate Thunder time. Yeah, MMOs. I still don't know why MMOs don't work on console. I guess technically Elder Scrolls would be. So yeah, I mean, y'all just have to, give it time, and it'll be here. So, so yeah, and make sure you vote. Does the ABK deal for Microsoft? Let's how many people did vote, okay, before we get out of here. 64 votes, and yeah, the majority say yes, it does. I agree with you guys. I think it does. We'll end the poll there. So, and there's your poll. So, they're a third party publisher now. So, and it's fine. They think Phil Spencer will be retiring soon. I think once this, it wouldn't shock me. I say Phil's gone by 25. Final Fantasy 14, Elder Scrolls are already there. Maybe Warcraft and the next Blue Protocol. Oh, well, fair enough. Destiny 2's an MMO. Okay. Well, cool. So, cool. But yeah, guys, that's it. It's 20 after. I appreciate you all being here. I do got to get ready to go. I'm going to go finish paying off Spider-Man. So, and we'll see what else happens this weekend. Crazy weekend in college football. Coach Prime's Colorado team blew a 29-0 lead, and it is what it is. It's going to take him 4 years like it does most of the time. And guys, we will talk to you later. And look for me. I'm going to try to stream some games later on today. Let's do Mass Effect. Yeah, let's do Mass Effect. Look for me playing Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2. Look for that about, oh boy. Actually, we're going to do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Mass Effect 2 on Twitch. Make sure you're following me on Twitch. We're going to do Mass Effect 2, 10 o'clock tomorrow, 10 to 12. Little Mass Effect. Y'all take it easy. Y'all stay blessed. Stay safe out there. 1 week from Spider-Man, a week from now, we'll be playing Spider-Man. Peace out.